Chris Palme from the KeyBank Center after tonight's Buffalo Bandits 16-10 win over the Albany Firewolves, and I have a special guest with me, Gary Groob. He's with StreamPunk Entertainment. He's a National Lacrosse League insider, and we're going to talk to him about the game tonight. Hey Gary, what are your thoughts on the Bandits' latest win, 16-10 over Albany here at the KeyBank Center?
Aren't they just an incredible team? They're just from top to bottom, just an absolutely juggernaut of a team. It doesn't matter who you're looking for, who you're looking at. If you want tough defense, they've got it. You want great goaltending, they've got it. You want scoring, they got wave after wave after wave of scoring. Tough to defend against.
I want to ask you this, Gary. What makes Matt Vince so special as a goalie, a future Hall of Famer, and at his age, at 41, right now in his career?
I think a couple of things. Number one is he's in phenomenal shape. He's in better shape than some of the 20-year-olds in this league.
Wow.
Number two is he's a reflex goalie and still has all of his reflexes. So he can make that save and make that second save, kick the rebound, and still get the third one. And he can do it time after time after time. And again, because he's in such great shape, his cardio is great. So he can put up lots of saves in a game. I think he had one game where he had something like 64 shots, and he was still, under 10 goals against. So he's just a phenom, and once in a lifetime you get to see someone like him.
This Buffalo Bandits team last year obviously won back-to-back titles, but they kind of struggled to get into the playoffs as a number 4 seed, and at one point they were 5 and 6. What makes this year's team even more dangerous than last year's team, and just thoughts on John Tavares as a head coach?
Well, I think the first thing is that Buffalo had a lot of injuries last year. And this year, with the exception of Chris Kluche and maybe Zach Belter, they really haven't had the injury bug hit them. And hopefully they won't have that hit them at all this year, and we can see what they really can do. Secondly is I think that they're even more mean than they were last year. And they were a pretty mean team last year. But now they have that drive. And for Matt Vince to think about this one, and not a lot of people have thought about it, he will be the first player ever to win three-peating with 2 separate teams, Rochester and Buffalo. That's mind-boggling. And as for John Tavares, what can you say that hasn't been said about him? He is calm amongst the storm. He is knowledgeable amongst everybody. And he always has that decisive plan and backup plan and plan C in case everything goes sideways. But always, that calm under fire. And that rubs off on his guys, period. And even when they're taking penalties like they took in the third quarter tonight, the first thing that's coming out of their mouth is, we got to be better. We can't take that motion thing. They won by 6, and they're still looking at ways that they need to improve themselves, because down the road, these things are the little things that are going to kill you. And if they're worried about that now with 6-goal wins, can you imagine when they have this and there's something on the line? This is going to be one hell of a team to keep going against, especially in a playoff series.
Well, the Bandits now are off until February 14th. They've got 2 games back-to-back against the Rock on the 14th and San Diego on the 15th. That's going to test their depth a little bit. Do you feel John Tavares might give Matt Vince a break out of those 2 games?
Maybe in one of the other games. I don't think either of these 2 games, because both Toronto and San Diego are tough. Toronto is healthy now. The last 2 games that Toronto's played, they've won decisively. As we're speaking now, Toronto is winning still over a tough Colorado team. And I think that this is the one that's circled on the calendar because these 2 teams hate each other. I don't mean dislike each other. I mean they hate each other. As seen in the last game that they played, it went down to the last minute. So I don't think that we're going to be seeing Steven Orleman in net for that game. The next game is against San Diego. While San Diego's had a few trouble scoring this year, they still are a team that's loaded with talent, and a team that I think will be in the playoff picture come the end of the year, and I don't think that they can risk that. Somewhere down the line, maybe, when you hit, maybe a Vegas or something like that down the road, maybe that's the time to give Matt some rest. But for the first time, Matt didn't play any summer ball this year. Matt was rested when he came in, and it shows because he's in playoff form now. That little bit of rest was huge towards his mental and physical capabilities, and you can see what he can do when he's at 100%.
And finally, what makes Josh Byrne and Dane Smith so great? And you've been following this league for many years and many decades. Would you rank them up there as all-time great Bandits as of now?
They're all-time great Bandits, for sure. Are they the best Bandits ever? I think they're close. But the one thing that really works with those two, chemistry. These guys do everything together, on, off the floor. They even got married at the same time. You know, they do everything. Their podcast is together. They are out together when it goes clubbing, when it's playing, when it's practicing. Everything they do is together. They're of the same thought process. We listened to it in a press conference from either of them, especially when Josh Byrne was talking about how great Dane Smith is of a passer, watching him in practice and watching him practice how to do that. And it made Josh start doing that. So the two of them are on the same page at all times with finding each other, finding their other teammates who are feeding them also, but also being able to anticipate and be able to lay the ball exactly where it needs to be so that there's no extra movement. And you see a lot of quick stick, you see a lot of in-position things, and a lot of things that are really tough to defend because they're on the same page.
And finally, Gary, can you tell us about your next podcast show, and where can people find you on social media and StreamPunk Entertainment?
Well, you can find us on StreamPunk Entertainment both Thursdays and Sundays. Thursdays is interview shows, Sundays is with the writers, and it's the week that was in Lacrosse. You can find us on all the major Facebook and Instagram, as well as Twitter, and of course StreamPunkEntertainment.com.
Well, Gary, I want to say thanks for giving us a little bit of time after this game tonight, and really looking forward to that Rock Bandits game. I think it's going to be like a playoff battle on February 14th, and I want to say thank you so much again for coming on tonight.
It's my pleasure, Chris, as always, and really that's the litmus test for Buffalo. That weekend is the litmus test to see exactly if this is as tough a team as we all think they are, and I think that they're going to come out pretty strong in this.
All right, well, thanks, Gary, and safe travels back to Toronto.
Thanks very much, Chris.